Just 35 kilometres from Gorema lies the small town of Eskisehir with a population of 10,000. And just outside the town is the rock-cut church of St. John, carved 700 years ago. The frescoes, one of the best preserved we've ever seen, depict the Annunciation, the betrayal by Judas, the Last Supper, and so on. We then headed for Hattusa, passing by the village of Babar-Pinar Jiftaligi, then Jikjikdagi, before pulling into Yozgat for a pity lunch which cost all of $3. Hattusa was the capital of an ancient kingdom that stretched from Syria through to Europe and was as mighty as the Egyptian, Babylonian and Assyrian empires. The Hittite Empire had its beginning here at Hattusa 5,000 years ago and continued on for another 4,000 years. The Hittites are mentioned in many historical writings, including the Bible, where they are referred to 49 times. We visited many Hittite sites in our 2010 travel series. This site, Hattusa, is a UNESCO World Heritage designated site. This mountainous, isolated area in ancient times was a busy and impressive city with 50,000 inhabitants. Its defences included stone walls, 6 kilometres in length, some of the thickest in the ancient world, with watchtowers and secret tunnels.
Cold in here?
Hattusa had a 100-step pyramid and 7 ponds which stored enough water for 10,000 people. Site, and we had to drive to the different parts of it. It was simply amazing how the Hittites managed to control a vast empire from this isolated location. Hittite prosperity was mostly dependent on control of the trade routes and metal sources. They lost some of this control when they fought the Egyptians at the Battle of Kadesh. The Assyrians caused further decline of the Hittite Empire as their own empire expanded. Then came the Iron Age, and the Hittites did not have this technology in the weapons area. They only had copper and were seriously disadvantaged. Adding to their woes was new trade routes established by sea, and the Hittites were landlocked, so could not respond. Thus by 1100 BC, the Hittite Empire vanished from all historical records. Hattusa lies on the outskirts of the town of Boghaz-Kali, which has a population of 1,600. Just outside the town is the Kali Hotel, which we booked using booking.com for $70 a night. The hotel is located directly across Hattusa, and we were the only guests.
This could be a scene from the South Island of New Zealand, were it not for the 2,300-year-old Hittite site.
The next morning we went to Yazili Kaya, 3 kilometres away. Yazili Kaya means inscribed rock. It was the Hittite Empire's holiest religious sanctuary, and its rock carvings form the largest known Hittite rock sanctuary in the world. There are 2 separate chambers, Chambers A and Chambers B. These carvings date back 3,300 years and are the memorial chapel for Tudhaliya IV, dedicated by his son Supululiuma II. After a bite to eat, we went to the Ankara Museum. Due to roadworks and traffic, we had difficulty in locating the museum, so we parked at a nearby auto park, then walked up to it. It was quite a hike to get there. There are 8 museums in Ankara, but the one we were interested in was the Museum of Anatolian Civilizations, which has exhibits from over 100 excavation sites in Turkey. The museum itself is housed in a beautifully restored 15th century market vault. It's here that we saw the finds from the many places we visited, such as Karain Cave, Hattusa, Gordion, which we visit later on in this episode, and also Hattusa. The so-called missing link, the 9.8 million year old Ankara Pithecus, is also housed here. Exhibits are laid out in chronological order.
Woman's work is still never done, even when you're on holiday.
The next morning after breakfast we checked out of the mini hotel, which we paid $70 a night for, and drove up to the Citadel. The Citadel was difficult to find. The whole area around the castle and museum is the old part of town, and the streets are narrow and it's hard to find any parking. The castle itself isn't much, and the present structure only dates back from 700 AD, so let's talk about Ankara. Ankara dates back to Hittite times, 3,200 years ago, but it really prospered as a Phrygian settlement on the trade routes. Later it was taken by Alexander the Great and then the Seleucids, and finally occupied by the Galatians around 250 BC. Then Augustus Caesar annexed it to Rome as Ankara. After that, Ankara fell to the Byzantines, then the Persians, the Arabs, the Seljuks, the Ottomans, and today it's the Turkish capital with a population of 4.5 million.
This would be good coming up to the intersection and watch all these cars.
3,000 years ago, Gordion was the capital of ancient Phrygia. Although destroyed by the Sumerian invasion, it was rebuilt, then conquered by the Lydians, and then the Persians. Alexander the Great came through in 333 BC, but by 278 BC it was destroyed by the Galatians. The area is dotted with at least 90 tumuli, which are man-made burial mounds marking the graves of Phrygian kings. The biggest mound is that of King Midas, of the Midas touch. It's 53 metres high and 300 metres wide, shovelled 3,200 years ago.
It's cold in here.
In this tomb, archaeologists found the skeleton of a 61-year-old man. Hey, that's my age. I could be next. 1.6 metres tall, surrounded by burial objects, and a wooden structure, the oldest known wooden structure in the world. Opposite the Midas Mound is the museum, which houses digs from this area spanning 5 civilizations, from the Bronze Age 5,600 years ago through to the Galatian times 2,000 years ago. 2,700 years ago, the Lydians invented coins, one of the first civilizations to use them. The gold and silver coins on display here belong to the Hellenistic period, 2,400 years ago. All of this reflects Gordion's prime position as a commercial centre. The museum also has some of the finest examples of Phrygian pottery and sculptures. In the grounds of the museum, which used to be the Acropolis, lies Anatolia's oldest known mosaic floors, 3,800 years old. And there's also a Galatian tomb on display.
These are actually burial pots. Different sizes for different people, I guess.
It was 12:15, so we drove back to the town of Palatli to buy a kebab for lunch. Hello.
Hello.
Money, money, money.
Money, money. Money, money, money.
Money, 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 money.
This is a real turkey. A sandwich. About $1.80. All these Turkish guys sitting around just talking. Turkish cola. And guys selling melons.
Pretty boring. 4-lane highway, 100 kilometres of straight road. Just about fell asleep. At Eskisehir, we set our GPS to guide us to a cluster of hotels. Then we set out on foot to select one and check in, the Arslan Hotel, at the bottom end, but clean and comfortable. After that, we took a look around the old town, which ironically has been thoroughly modernised. Eskisehir has a population of 517,000 and is famous for its white gold. It's not a tourist destination, and we were probably the only ones in town.
It's got chili on it, is it? It's hot. This is a pancake with cheese inside it.
Same cheese that we have at breakfast every morning. It's warm too. Some kind of Krispy Kreme donut.